Google AI Studio 2.0 Plus anti-gravity update is insane. You've been building apps the slow way, copy, paste, fix errors, lose your place, start over. Most people building with AI right now are wasting hours they don't have to. There's a better way, and most people still don't know about it. Google just dropped something that changes how you build with AI completely, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to fall behind fast. Hey, I'm Julian, and in this video, I'm breaking down the new Google AI Studio update, what the anti-gravity agent inside it actually does, and why the standalone anti-gravity idea is a genuinely different way to work. Whether you're a developer, a builder, or just someone who wants to create real working apps with AI, this one's for you. Stick around because I'm going to cover what changed, why it matters, and exactly what you should do with it. Let's go. So first, quick context. Google has been shipping constantly new models, new tools, new platforms almost every single week. And for a lot of people, that's actually been more confusing than helpful. Right? You've got AI Studio, Firebase Studio, Jules, Gemini CLI, and now Antigravity. It can feel like a lot. But this latest update to AI Studio is actually bringing a lot of this together. And once you understand how the pieces connect, it makes total sense. So let me walk you through what just changed in AI Studio's build feature first, and then I'll get into the anti-gravity IDE itself. The code assistant inside AI Studio Build is now powered by the anti-gravity agent. One of the most frustrating problems with AI coding tools in general is losing context. You're deep into a build session, 20 messages in, and the AI starts going off the rails because it's lost track of what you're building. The anti-gravity agent significantly improves that. It keeps track of your app's structure across a long session much better than before. The builds stay coherent. App generation has also moved server-side. Before, if your internet dropped or you closed the tab mid-build, you could lose your work. With server-side generation, your build runs on Google servers. You can close the tab, come back later, and your project will still be there. And then there's multiplayer. The new full stack runtime in AI Studio Build now enables multiplayer apps and multiplayer games. That wasn't possible before. If you're building anything collaborative or shared, that's a whole new category of what you can create inside AI Studio. But the biggest change in this update is still coming. Stay with me. As of late February 2026, Google announced that AI Studio Build is getting Firebase integration, and this is the one that changes what's actually possible. Firebase is Google's backend platform. It gives your app a real database, user authentication, and data storage. Up until now, everything built inside AI Studio was essentially a prototype. It worked and it ran, but there was no real backend, no way to store user data, no user login system. Anyone who's built in there knows how limiting that is. The Firebase integration changes that. You'll be able to set up Firestore for your database and add Firebase authentication for user sign-in directly inside the AI Studio Build experience. Your apps can actually remember users and save data between sessions. Real applications, not just demos. You'll also be able to add Firebase to apps you've already built inside AI Studio, so you don't have to start from scratch. The announcement also confirmed that AI Studio Build now supports Next.js and Angular in addition to React. More flexibility for whatever framework you already work with. A couple of things to be aware of. There's currently a limit of 5 active apps, and some Cloud Run deployment features are still being worked on, including deploying Express.js apps to Cloud Run and Firebase login working by default in apps published through Cloud Run. Google is actively working on these, but the direction is clear. AI Studio is moving from a prototyping playground to a platform where you can ship real applications. Now, before I get into the anti-gravity IDE itself, I want to pause because I know what happens. You hear about new tools, you get excited, and then you end up spending a week going in circles trying to figure out which ones to actually use and how. When I first started going deep on Google's AI development tools, I felt exactly that. That's when I found a community called AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 members all focused on learning AI together and sharing what actually works. People in there are actively testing these tools, sharing their builds, and being really honest about what saves time versus what wastes it. It helped me cut through a lot of noise and start using these tools in ways that actually made a difference to how I work. If you're serious about using AI to improve your skills and your workflows, check it out. Link in the description. Now, let me get into the anti-gravity IDE itself, because this is where things get really interesting. Antigravity is Google's standalone agentic development platform. So it was announced on November 18th, 2025, alongside the release of Gemini 3. You download it at antigravity.google. It's free for individuals in public preview, and it runs on Mac, Windows, and Linux. It's built on a fork of Visual Studio Code, so the bones will feel familiar, but the philosophy is completely different. Traditional code editors were built for humans to type in. Antigravity is built assuming an AI agent is the primary worker. You're not the typist, you're the architect. The platform has two distinct ways to work. The first is the editor view, standard coding interface, AI tab completions, inline commands. Familiar if you've used any modern AI code editor. The second is the manager view. This is the one that makes Antigravity genuinely different. It's a mission control dashboard for running multiple AI agents at the same time, working in parallel across different tasks. One agent could be refactoring a module, while another is writing tests. You're overseeing the work, not doing each piece manually. Google describes it as flipping the paradigm, where instead of agents being embedded in surfaces, the surfaces are embedded in the agents. Now, here's something important that's easy to miss when you first look at anti-gravity. Giving an AI agent real autonomy creates a trust problem. How do you know what it actually did? How do you catch mistakes before they become big problems? Anti-gravity handles this with what Google calls artifacts. Every time an agent works on a task, it generates a record of what it did, task lists, implementation plans, screenshots, browser recordings. You can see the agent's logic at a glance, and if something looks off, you leave feedback directly on the artifact, like commenting on a document, and the agent incorporates that without stopping what it's doing. Anti-gravity also has a learning layer built in. Agents can save useful context and code snippets to a knowledge base, so future tasks get better over time. It builds an understanding of your project, your style, your patterns. On the model side, it defaults to Gemini 3.1 Pro, but also fully supports Claude Sonnet 4.5 and OpenAI models. You're not locked into one model for everything. And the agent doesn't just work in the code editor, it has direct access to your terminal and an embedded browser. So it can write code, run it, spin up a local server, open the browser, look at what the UI actually looks like, and debug what it sees. That end-to-end loop is what separates anti-gravity from tools that just generate code and stop there. Because you're giving an agent access to your terminal and browser, there's also a granular permission system. You control exactly what it is and isn't allowed to do automatically. When you first set it up, spend a few minutes configuring those permissions properly. One more thing about anti-gravity's origin that's worth knowing. The technology behind it comes from the Windsurf team, which Google acquired in 2025 for $2.4 billion. Windsurf was an AI-first code editor, so there's serious engineering behind this, not just a quick internal project. That said, this is still a public preview. Early users have reported some latency issues and model overloaded errors. It's not a polished production tool yet for mission-critical work, but for building real things and experimenting, the foundation is solid. So what should you actually do right now if you want to start with zero setup? Go to astudio.google.com, click on build, and start experimenting. It's browser-based and free. The Firebase integration is rolling out now, so keep an eye on your AI Studio build experience for when it becomes available. If you want to go deeper, go to antigravity.google and download it. Sign in with a Google account, spend time in the manager view, and give it a real task on a real project. That's the fastest way to understand what it actually does. And look, keeping up with all of this is genuinely a job in itself.